Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to today's reading sessions, reading from Bhagavad Gita. Today's verse is as follows, which I'm going to bring up the screen here. So the verse number is 16 from chapter number 15 of the Bhagavad Gita. This is another beautiful verse. So I will read from the displaying the Sanskrit text, and I will also read displaying the English text. First, displaying the Sanskrit text. Dvāv imau puruṣau loke. Dvāv imau puruṣau loke. Kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca. kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca. kṣaraḥ sarvāṇi bhūtāni. kṣaraḥ sarvāṇi bhūtāni. kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. dvāv imau puruṣau loke. dvāv imau puruṣau loke. kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca. kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca. kṣaraḥ sarvāṇi bhūtāni. kṣaraḥ sarvāṇi bhūtāni. kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. This also can be recited in slightly different meters, for example. So, dvāv imau puruṣau loke. kṣaraś cākṣara eva ca. kṣaraḥ sarvāṇi bhūtāni. kūṭa-stho kṣara ucyate. Anyway, we can use whichever way resonates to us, whichever way inspires us, whichever way attracts us. So the word for word meaning is as follows. Dvāv, two. Imau, these. Puruṣau, living entities. Loke, in the world. Kṣaraḥ, fallible. Ca and kṣaraḥ, infallible. Eva, certainly. Ca and kṣaraḥ, fallible. Sarvāṇi, all. Bhūtāni, living entities. kūṭa-stho, in oneness. kṣaraḥ, infallible. Ucyate, is said. Translation. There are two classes of beings. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As already explained, the Lord in His incarnation as Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutra. So this is saying that Vyasadeva, who was incarnation of Lord Krishna, compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Here, the Lord is giving in summary the contents of the Vedanta Sutra. He says that the living entities, who are innumerable, can be divided into two classes, the fallible and the infallible. The living entities are eternally separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is saying that the living entities are eternally separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means God and the living entities are not one single body. The living entities are different bodies, eternally different bodies, either in spiritual body or in material bodies. They are in different bodies, and God has his own individual body. Continuing reading. When they are in contact with the material world, they are called Jiva Bhuta. And the Sanskrit words given here, kṣaraḥ, sarvāṇi, bhūtāni, mean that they are fallible. So living entities in the material world are fallible. Those who are in the oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, are called infallible. Oneness doesn't mean that they have no individuality, but that there is no disunity. They are all agreeable to the purpose of the creation. Of course, in the spiritual world, there is no such a thing as creation, but since the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra, is the source of all emanations, that conception is explained. According to the statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, there are two classes of living entities. The Vedas give evidence of this, so there is no doubt about it. The living entities who are struggling in this world with the mind and five senses have their material bodies which are changing. As long as the living entity is conditioned, his body changes due to contact with matter. Matter is changing, so the living entity appears to be changing. But in the spiritual world, the body is not made of matter. Therefore, there is no change. In the material world, the living entity undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, duration, reproduction, then dwindling and vanishing. These are the changes of the material body. But in the spiritual world, the body does not change. There is no old age, there is no birth, there is no death. There all exists in oneness. kṣaraḥ, sarvāṇi, bhūtāni. Any living entity who has come in contact with matter being from the first created being, there all exists in oneness. kṣaraḥ, sarvāṇi, bhūtāni. Any living entity who has come in contact with matter, beginning from the first created being, Brahma, down to a small ant, is changing its body. Therefore, they are all fallible. In the spiritual world, however, they are always liberated in oneness. So even Lord Brahma, who resides within the section of the material world, is fallible until and unless that Brahma goes back home, back to Godhead. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.